Live from the Tri-States news and weather leader, this is 14 News.
Good afternoon, I'm Caroline Clapp. New at 4, an Amber Alert has been canceled and a 9-year-old Indiana girl is safe. At noon, we told you the alert was issued for a child last seen in Indianapolis. Police identified 32-year-old Monica Burdine as the suspect. No other details have been released. A Mount Vernon woman is facing more than 40 theft charges. Police records show 44-year-old Kimberly Williams was an employee of Mountain Glacier for 13 years and had been handling the bookkeeping. A manager told police it was discovered Williams had been embezzling money, and an audit shows she had taken nearly $105,000 since 2019. Williams is accused of using the company account to pay personal expenses and overpaying herself for overtime she did not work. She was arrested and has since bonded out of jail. We know COVID-19 has had major impacts on the U.S. educational system, and now we're getting a look at the numbers. A new report released today says math and reading scores for 9-year-olds in the U.S. fell drastically since 2020. This is the first national report to compare student achievement from before and after the start of the pandemic. The organization says overall math scores dropped 7 points, while reading scores are down by 5 points. This marks the largest decline in reading since 1990 and the first time math scores have ever went down. A 14 News update on efforts to get the water treatment plant up and running in Jackson, Mississippi. City leaders say an emergency pump was installed at that plant, which should help the pressure back up. For people living there, this is day 4 without water. The governor warned today it will be some time before people can drink out of the faucet safely.
We are working on this every day, and I should say, because the plant runs 24/7, we are working on this every night, and we will be transparent, fast acting, and focused throughout this mission.
The governor declared a state of emergency Tuesday. The National Guard arrived last night to help distribute water.
We had plenty of sunshine again today and not much humidity, so it was comfortable outside for much of the afternoon. The skies out there started to cloud up just a bit after about noon or 1 o'clock, but it hasn't been enough to really have any 7. And then on the ride home, 87 degrees and mostly cloudy.
Now to changes coming to the way some airlines treat their customers. Just as pilots across the country plan to walk the picket line at some of the busiest airports, with Labor Day travel now kicking into high gear. NBC's Tom Costello with this report.
Under pressure to improve customer service and avoid a repeat of this summer's travel nightmares, the nation's airlines are this morning spelling out how they treat passengers when flights are delayed or canceled due to factors under their control.
In the past, yes, every summer there'd be overtime flying because the airlines fly more in the summer. Now it's just been relentless in the recovery.
If your gas tank's getting close to empty, now is a great time to fill up. Look at that. The prices just dropped at Circle K. This great deal is going on right now at Circle K's all across the nation. You can get 40 cents off per gallon from now until 7. This is a live look at the station on Fulton Avenue, just off the Lloyd in Evansville. The company says they wanted to do something for customers in advance of the Labor Day holiday weekend. You can find the nearest one to you at CircleK.com. And again, any customer in line for gas before 7 will receive that discount. An Evansville teen is in jail accused of speeding and driving under the influence. Troopers clocked a driver on Highway 41 going 100 miles per hour. When they pulled the car over, officials say they could smell alcohol. They also say the driver, 18-year-old Haley Goodman, showed signs of impairment and failed field sobriety tests. New chilling video released of the break-ins at 2 Academy sports stores. As we reported, the thieves rammed vehicles into the front doors to get in. The surveillance video shows the suspects fire shots at the gun case, but the glass did not break. This is the store in St. Peters, Missouri. Police say they also hit the store in O'Fallon, Illinois, where they also attempted to steal guns, but were not successful. The suspects are still on the run. Former President Donald Trump's legal team and the Justice Department go head-to-head in court. We've got the recap. And Twitter is testing a new feature many users have been asking for years. Today in a Florida courtroom, the battle over whether an independent, quote, special master is needed to oversee classified documents seized from Mar-a-Lago took place. Now, former President Trump's legal team argued that left unchecked, Department of Justice investigators could selectively leak parts of the investigation. NBC's Alice Barr has the latest from Washington.
The Justice Department and the Trump legal team squaring off in a federal courtroom today as a judge weighs whether to bring in an independent special master.
Office looks. Anybody that knows President Trump's office, he has guests frequently there.
Again, calling the investigation political while pointing to his rising poll numbers, claiming the legal troubles are actually helping him. In Washington, Alice Barr, NBC News.
Google just announced its plan to help combat misinformation ahead of the November midterm elections. Today, the tech giant said it plans to launch a new tool in the coming weeks that highlights local and regional journalism about campaigns and races. Searches for how to vote in both English and Spanish will soon return highlighted information sourced from state election officials. The information will include important dates and deadlines based on user location and instructions on acceptable ways to cast a ballot. How many times have you wished you could have made a change to something you just tweeted? Well, that's becoming a reality. Today, the social media Twitter campaign announced that it's testing edited tweets. So right now the search is just in-house, but Twitter Blue subscribers will be able to use it within the next few weeks. Users will just have 30 minutes to make any changes to their messages. The holiday weekend is almost here. Chief Meteorologist Jeff Lyons has what you can expect. Do you remember getting that first paycheck? We're taking you to a coffee shop for the extra special moment for one barista.
The leader in tracking storms. Here's your 14 First Alert forecast.
We have been on a roll with pretty days across the tri-state, certainly this last couple of weeks of August. Now we're into September and we continue the trend. We could use some more widespread rain, even though we had rain there on Monday, Tuesday. For many of you, a lot of the spots in the tri-state did not get rain, and so maybe over the weekend we will scatter a few more showers around to the areas that didn't receive rain there on Tuesday. Out the door tomorrow, it'll be cloudy, warm, temperatures in the upper 80s by the afternoon. And at the moment, we still have high pressure kind of muscling all these showers and storms away from the region, which is near normal temperatures. Labor Day there, of course, on Monday, with a slight chance for scattered showers during the day.
Thank you, Jeff. Right now, a section of a busy Los Angeles freeway is closed due to a massive wildfire. The fire started yesterday afternoon and has since burned more than 4,600 acres. Mandatory evacuations were ordered for as many as 200 homes. Officials say at least 255 firefighters are working to contain it. Ford owners, listen up. The company has issued a recall for 200,000 SUVs for a fire risk. This involves Expeditions and Lincoln Navigators with model years from 2015 through 2017. The automaker says government documents show reports of 25 fires caused by the heating and cooling fan motors. Owners will be notified starting September 12th, and dealers will replace the front blower at no cost. A video out of a Massachusetts coffee shop has gone viral. The clip shows a worker celebrating his first paycheck, and his reaction is helping to highlight the company's mission of inclusivity to millions around the world. Julie McDonald reports.
At Biddy & Beau's in Melrose, they're busting out their best moves to celebrate.
Literally so happy. It felt like a holiday for me. A little bit emotional, but I was okay.
This week marks their first anniversary. The coffee shop proudly employs local men and women who live with intellectual disabilities.
I say it every time I leave here. I leave with a full heart.
Next order. The company's mission of inclusion and acceptance, an answered prayer for the families and friends who cherish these bright workers.
A lot of times I say, you know, you might not be able to change the whole world, but, you know, we can change our world, right? And so that's what he's doing, you know, one coffee at a time.
Very sweet. Well, an alligator wrestling took place in a Wendy's parking lot in Florida. We've got the video. And another animal found after weeks of searching.
Yes, on this date back in 2012, the remnants of Hurricane Isaac moved up through the Ohio River Valley. We had damaging wind gusts, heavy rain, the usual problems you would get with the remnants of a tropical storm. It was centered mainly over southern Illinois and far west Kentucky and back into Missouri, but we had heavy rain in the Evansville tri-state area as well on this date back then. Well, we sum up the entire month of August like this. Wetter than normal, too, slightly wetter than the average. So that's what's coming our way in the long-range forecast. And of course, with Labor Day this weekend, we kind of end the official summer season. And now we're looking forward to some fall temperatures and conditions.
Thank you, Jeff. Lunchtime diners at a Wendy's in Florida were treated to a meal and a show. Hernando County Sheriff's deputies were forced to do some alligator wrestling in the parking lot near Tampa. Workers at the Wendy's in Spring Hill were surprised to find a gator there, possibly looking for a bite. Florida Fish and Wildlife officers helped sheriff's deputies take the 6-foot reptile into custody. In Illinois, a beloved pet parakeet is back with its owner after flying 150 miles away from home. Now the owner is celebrating their reunion and thanking the community for making it possible.
I could not console myself. I cried for a whole week. I couldn't sleep.
Satya Isaki of Naperville had spent 2 weeks searching for her lost pet bird named Blue. Today, she's celebrating his return home, and it's all thanks to the power of social media.
Photos and videos, I figured out it was Blue.
The little bird had flown over 150 miles right into Brandon's backyard.
I was like, you got to be kidding me. You know, I didn't think it would be.
Satya and her husband drove almost 3 hours overnight to reunite with their beloved Blue.
The moment I got Blue in my hands, I was like completely filled out with tears. I could not express my happiness.
You're watching the Tri-States News and Weather Leader. This is 14 News at 4.
New at 4:30, candidates for Vanderburgh County Prosecutor answered questions from the public today. Republican candidate Diana Merce and Democratic candidate John Schaefer met for a public forum at Evansville Central Library. The two answered a variety of questions, including on how to prosecute those with mental health or substance abuse problems and what their priorities would be if elected. They also reacted to the people's concerns that people are being released from jail too quickly and why that may be happening.
Too many people are getting let out for whatever reason. So I'm going to make sure that we have really good information when we go to sentencings. If someone pleads guilty, to recommend a strong sentence and to keep people who are violent offenders incarcerated.
And I think that goes back to being overworked, overwhelmed with cases, and not having the time to sit down and really review the amount of information necessary to give a judge to make a proper a bond decision.
The election for Vanderburgh County Prosecutor will happen in November. Henderson County Judge Executive Brad Schneider swore in the new interim jailer. Edward Vaught will be the jailer for 2 months and 9 days until a new one is elected. He's replacing former jailer Amy Brady after her retirement took effect yesterday. Vaught says he has 16.5 years of experience at the Henderson County Detention Center. He was the training officer before getting appointed.
I'm very excited. I'm very honored by the appointment. Our goal is to keep the business running as usual and make sure everything's in order for the next jailer that walks in.
Voters will pick a new jailer in the upcoming November election. A 14 News update, Evansville City's recycling program will be suspended another week. Officials say the parts to repair a piece of equipment will not arrive until after Labor Day. Residential recycling collections were first suspended this week. Officials hope to resume recycling pickup September 12th. They say if you need to get rid of any recyclables before then, you can drop them off at the landfill off Wimberg Road. Demolition is underway at a former Evansville hotel. The Clarion Inn near the intersection of Highway 41 and Lynch Road has been closed since 2014. It was sold back in March to a group from out of town. The realtor says only the common area of the building is being torn down and the rest is being converted into apartments. New construction is expected to start next spring.
And smooth traffic flow over the Twin Bridges here this afternoon. Beautiful day. Lots of folks, I'm sure, getting out there to take advantage of the dwindling daylight. We're losing about a minute to a minute and a half of sunshine each day now as we get closer to astronomical fall, about the 22nd there of September. 84 now in Owensboro. No heat index this afternoon as the humidity right in line with where we like to have it for comfort levels. 83 in Washington now, 84 in Owensboro, and 85 in Greenville. No clouds even on the radar, just a couple there on the satellite pic. For tomorrow out at Corn Ferry, we're looking at temperatures right around 83 by noon, a little more cloud cover than we had today.
Hey, good evening, everybody. I'm Tanner Holbrook. You can probably hear it in my voice. It's that time of year where I sound a little bit nasally. Maybe you are too. I mean, my seasonal allergies, they're acting up. I'm told we're in one of two allergy peaks. This peak, allergists say, is basically caused by ragweed. It lasts until September. There are many things you can do besides medicines to help curb those symptoms. We're talking things around your home or things even in your car while you're driving. I'll share those, plus how to spot the difference between COVID and allergies ahead on 14 News at 5 and 6.
Thank you, Tanner. Wesselman Woods Nature Preserve Center turns 50 years old today. To mark the day, Evansville Mayor Lloyd Winnicky proclaimed today as Wesselman Woods Day. In addition to the proclamation, Wesselman Woods will be waiving the cost of admission to visitors until September 4th as part of their birthday bash. The event is sponsored by Methodist Temple Church through the Eco Access Initiative. Christina Arwood, says having the program is helpful for families who can't afford to get in.
That money does go toward helping maintain this place and care for our animals, but that Eco Access Initiative allows other people in the community to sponsor memberships, sponsor campers. So that's another way to get involved if you want to help other families get into this place for free outside of our free weekend.
For a list of Wesselman Woods birthday events, visit our website at 14news.com. We are ready for another week of Sunrise School Spirit. The Princeton Tigers kicked off the fun and food drive last week, bringing in over 13,000 pounds of food. This week, we are heading to Hopkins County Central High School. Every can collected at this school will stay in their community to help those impacted by the tornado. We caught up with some students over the summer to hear what stepping up to this challenge means to them.
It's just been amazing to see how much overwhelming support and how much the community has rallied together, and this only adds to it. You see people, yes, we've had tragedies, we've had some sad things happen, but yet we're still coming together. People are still excited and they're ready and willing to come and support.
So how much will the Central Storm collect for Tri-State Food Bank? Hear that answer and the excitement in the gym tomorrow morning at 6. With harvest season comes traffic alerts. We'll explain next. And I know Christmas is still months away, but some people are worried fresh trees will be in short supply. The reason next.
I'm Randy Moore, and this is your Neighborhood Watch. A Mount Vernon woman is facing more than 40 theft charges. Police records show 44-year-old Kimberly Williams was an employee of Mountain Glacier for 13 years and had been handling their bookkeeping. A manager told police it was discovered Williams had been embezzling money, and an audit shows she had taken nearly $105,000 since 2019. Williams is accused of using the company account to pay for personal expenses and overpaying herself for overtime she did not work. She was arrested and has since bonded out of jail. An Evansville woman is in jail accused of speeding and driving under the influence. Troopers say they clocked 18-year-old Haley Goodman on Highway 41 going 100 miles an hour. When they pulled the car over, officials said they could smell alcohol. They also say Goodman showed signs of impairment and failed the field sobriety tests. Several juveniles and one adult are facing charges after video of an apparent assault surfaced on social media. Officials with the Madisonville Police Department say they were made aware of the video Monday. They say it showed a girl being assaulted by multiple other people at Elk Creek Trailer Park. Officers say they charged 5 juveniles with 4th-degree assault. They say 1 adult. That woman right there, Katie Sass, was charged with 2nd-degree wanton endangerment. And that's your Neighborhood Watch.
Thank you, Randy. It's that time of the year again. Harvest season is starting, which means farmers have large equipment that they will be moving on the roads. Farmers want to remind drivers to be cautious when tractors or combines are on the highways moving from field to field. The equipment moves slowly and can take up the whole road, so you shouldn't speed past until they pull over. Remember to not follow the equipment too close because it sits high and it's wide, making it difficult for farmers to see cars behind them. Another warm day across the tri-state, and it's going to get even warmer for the holiday weekend. Chief Meteorologist Jeff Lyons is working on our forecast. It may seem a bit early to be thinking about Christmas trees. It's September 1st, right? But Christmas tree farmers consider their trees all year. As Pat Battle explains, this year's drought has not been good for the crop, and you can expect to notice that in a couple of months.
It takes 8 to 10 years to grow the average Christmas tree, about a foot of new growth every year. But for tree farmers, this year has not been a good one.
We've had some smaller trees here. We will need a good spring rain, quite a couple days and every other day or something would be really good. We got to see how these trees recover.
You don't want these dry needles on your tree, so what they recommend is that you get it later. Put it up a little later.
People will still come because it's a tradition. You bring the family out, you have hot chocolate, donuts, and popcorn, and you spend the afternoon. And that's what it's supposed to be. The family spend the day.
Just be prepared to pay a little more for the star of your holiday season.
And with the mega drought plaguing the western United States, the city of Las Vegas is leading the way in water conservation. Leaders have put a size limit on new pools and spas at single-family homes. It's now 600 square feet. The water district estimates the change, will save more than 32 million gallons of water over the next decade. In April, the district banned grass and spray irrigation systems from being installed at new properties, except for schools, parks, and cemeteries. For older homes, grass is prohibited in front yards and limited for side and backyards. With 10 years of experience under his collar, TSA's oldest canine is giving his nose a break.
We are nearing the peak of hurricane season. Typically it's in a couple of weeks, and the big question that often comes up is how do we get the names for the hurricanes and so on and so forth. So we'll talk a little bit about that first. And just for context here, the hurricane season goes from June the 1st to November 30th, and there are usually, there are always 21 names on the list to be used. Is the storm surge with hurricanes along the coast. Typically, that normal sea level can be elevated by as much as 12 feet in a major hurricane, and that can have the biggest impact in addition to the wind and other concerns. But coastal flooding and the storm surge are often the most devastating portion of any hurricane that makes landfall.
The Transportation Security Administration's top dog is hanging it up and retiring with a new leash on life. With 10 years of faithful security service under his collar, Evers, a bomb-sniffing Vizsla Lab mix stationed at Minnesota's MSP Airport, is officially retiring as the oldest working dog in the TSA and never made a peep. For Take a Look at This, I'm Jeremy Roth.